And welcome back to part 2 of the Tyranids versus Chaos battle report. Let's go right into Tyranids, the second turn of the movement phase. Movement phase is the second turn. So rolling for reserves here, the Trigon gets 5, and the Zoanthropes also get a 5. And I would have gotten, I only needed 3s because of the Swarmlord, but didn't end up mattering. So I'm going to roll a scatter, and he hits. And I roll for scatter, and he hits as well, so that's good. So the Zoanthropes pile out and decide to set up to try and hopefully destroy that nearest Rhino, so that maybe if I roll high enough I can get these guys close enough for the assault on this turn. So I get to roll the extra dice, get a 6, because they're moving through difficult terrain, so I needed to roll the 3 dice. But luckily I get to move full distance. So these guys are running forward, hopefully to get at whatever's inside that tin can once I can hopefully rip it open. My squad in the middle gets a 5, so they get to run and move up to that center objective and hold it pretty well and blend in with that marsh. The Hormigons on the other side are swinging around to hopefully help the assault with the Trigon. See if he can break into those Plague Marines or do something over there. And since I ran out of Termagant models, the Tervigon's all done spawning babies, so we just move them. And the Swarmlord also moves up behind those Hormigons. I believe, no, he gave Furious Charge. He's going to give Furious Charge to the Hormigons. Either way, Gene Stealers move up, move on to the shooting phase of Tyranids turn 2. So the Zoanthropes going for that Rhino. I forgot to mention in the last video, he popped smoke on all of his vehicles. So there was all my psychic tests. They all hit. He gets to roll 3 cover saves, and he makes 2 of them, and 1 gets through, and it's a 4. So that means +1 because it's AP1, and it's a wreck. So he piles out. So far my plan is going exactly how I wanted it to. So now I just gotta finish it up with the assault. So my pod decides to try out and lash out and hurt that other Rhino, and he gets 1 glance, and he doesn't save it, and he gets a 4, so he can't move or shoot. I believe that's correct. So here's my Trigon shooting. I only shot the first 6 and I forgot, so here's the second 6. And now this is at the Plague Marine Rhino. I do pretty good, get some damage through. He gets cover saves. He saves 1 of them, so I get 1 glance all the way through. I roll a 6, so it goes down to a 4, which means his Rhino is immobilized, which is marked by that orange dice. Not like they were going anywhere anyways. And these are my runs, just for the sake of speeding up time. I'm rolling all of them, so you saw a 6 and a 6, and another 6 down here. So far pretty good for the runs. The Tervigon is casting Feel No Pain on those Hormigons, marked by the blue dice. And the Swarmlord is giving them Furious Charge, which is marked by the black dice. Now the Swarmlord rolled a 4. That was for his run, so that'll be a little bit later once I move everything. So Hormigons move up, swinging around hopefully, get close to those Plague Marines. Running them 6, which is exactly what I needed. Thankfully I got that 6, because otherwise I probably would have been short of the assault. So they're moving in ready to charge into those Khorne Berserkers. The Gene Stealers are moving in also to hopefully help support the charge, to hopefully overwhelm those Khorne Berserkers. Swarmlord also moves up to help back up his little Gribblies in front of him. These guys try and take some pot shots, but looks like I'm out of range, and I am out of range, so they don't get to do any shooting. So moving on to the assault phase, this is where it gets good. Hormigons, get a couple of them in. Thankfully for their leaping bound or whatever they have, they get a lot more people to attack because they can reach a lot further. So here's my attacks, and I realized I actually missed on all the attacks that I would have gained from the assault. So I would have done a lot more damage here, but oh well, my bad, no big deal. So get a couple wounds in. Looks like I'm re-rolling for poison because of Furious Charge, because they have Toxin Sac, so I get a decent amount of wounds on him. It looks like about a dozen, and he rolls, and he only fails 2. He does really well on his rolling, and saves a lot of his guys. So now he's striking back with this unit, and he hits pretty much, looks like he hit all of them actually, which is really good, because he's hitting on 3s. Now he's rolling to wound, and he's also wounding on 3s. So he does a whole bunch of damage, so I gotta roll 6s. I make 2 of them, and I also get 4 pluses for Feel No Pain, so hopefully this will save a bunch more. Which thankfully it does, so I only end up losing 2 out of, or 3 total. So I take my Fearless save, which I also fail. And then we realize we forgot the Power Fist, so this footage is actually from a little bit later, but I let him get his Power Fist in just for the sake of sportsmanship. So he hits twice and wounds twice. And then I take my Fearless saves. and I make both of them. So, lost 2 more in that combat, not a big deal. Moving on to Chaos, turn 2. Rolling for his slow and purposeful on his obliterators. So he's moving up. Now I'm gonna shoot the Trigon, which I didn't realize at first, but he has twin link plasma guns, so he's gonna get a lot of hard hitting shooting on my Trigon, so that's not so good. So he jumps over with his winged demon Prince of Nurgle and backs up with his Rhino, so his newly disembarked Khorne Berserkers can get into that charge and clean up those Hormagaunts before they can do any more damage to his unit. So here he is lining up his shots. All of them are shooting plasmas. This is the squad further away because one of them was out of rapid fire range. And now I realize you'll see a couple of them are 1s, but we forgot about gets hot. No big deal, whatever. He would have still killed him either way. So he takes 3 wounds from that squad. Rerolls his miss, gets a 1. Again, forgot. Gets hot, no big deal. And gets 3 more wounds, and kills the Trigon. So the big guy popped up, immobilized the vehicle, and dropped right back down into his hole, deader than doornail. So here's plasmas out of the top. The Nurgle guy is shooting at the Hormagaunts, and pegs 2 of them. They're in 2 1s there, but oh well. And then the Twin Link Bolter on the top fails to do anything. And here's Warp Time, and he rolls double 6s. So Warp Time doesn't go off, and then he also fails his invuln. So he takes 1 wound, and he figured since he was already committed to the charge, he might as well charge in there, do as much damage as possible. And also the Khorne Berserkers moving in. So here's the Gene Stealers attacking since they have initiative on them. Didn't do a whole lot of great hitting on him. I didn't do any Rens, but here's his armor saves, and he fails 2 of them. So he's down to 1 wound, which is good for me, because I need to do as much damage to the Demon Prince as possible. So he's hitting back, and he misses 3 of them, so that's bad luck on his part. And he rolls to wound, and he crushes 2 of them. So I end up winning combat, or tying combat. Sorry, that was a tied combat. So this was my Hormagaunts attacking that squad. I ended up killing 2 of them, so that was good for me. But here comes the other squad, coming to save the day, and ends up doing a ton of damage. And as you'll see here in a second, I end up just pulling all the models off because that squad was able to kill 7. There was no way they'd survive the rest of the combat. So just to save some time, just pulled them all off. Called it good. So now he's rolling for consolidation, 5 and 1. So he's just going to shuffle his Khorne Berserkers around after they successfully sacrificed a whole bunch of guys to the Blood God. Alright. And that's the end of part 2. Hopefully you're enjoying this battle so far. So rate, comment, subscribe, let me know if there's anything else that we missed or we're doing wrong, and leave some feedback and let me know how you're liking this style of battle report. So yeah, look for part 3 coming soon.